Do you like my shirt? I got it at the Horizons conference here in New York City last year in October 2019, so I thought it'd be fitting to wear it in October 2020. But if you don't know what Horizons is, it's this psychedelic conference where they invite people from many different types of backgrounds to come and give their perspectives on psychedelics. So they've invited scientists, people from the government, activists, artists, and indigenous people to come and give talks on psychedelics, and it was pretty cool, but I didn't go this year because it was all virtual and I'm really not a fan of the virtual social events, I've realized. So today I wanted to talk about what you can watch on psychedelics, whether that's movies, shows, or music videos. And before, some people who will say, why do you want to spend your trip sitting in front of a screen when you can go outside and look at nature? You're wasting the trip. To that I say, that's elitist. It's totally valid to want to consume media on psychedelics. I view music and movies and shows as forms of art that our fellow humans have made, and wanting to experience that art, I don't really see what the problem is there. So yeah, that's just kind of a pet peeve of mine when people say that. Anyway, back to what you can watch. I'll tell you some of my favorite things to watch, and also other things that you can watch that are frequently suggested while tripping as well. So to start off with, movies. My favorite movie to watch on psychedelics is Yellow Submarine. It's just basically actually kind of like a very long music video of the Beatles' Yellow Submarine album, and the animations are so cute and the banter they have is so cute as well, and it just fills my heart with joy and happiness. I think if you're a Beatles fan especially, this is a must-see. My next favorite movies to watch on psychedelics, they kind of go hand in hand. One is Koyaanisqatsi, which is a kind of video documentary, and there's like no talking, not really an obvious plot. It's just a bunch of old footage set to Philip Glass's music, and I love the soundtrack. It is kind of slow though, so I would recommend watching it on more of a higher dose, otherwise you might get kind of bored watching it at a lower dose. But I also enjoy watching this movie sober, and it just talks about the relationship between humans and Earth and technology. And destruction and all that good stuff. Next is a movie in a similar vein where there's not really an obvious plot, but there's some underlying themes, and that's called Samsara. And this is kind of about the cycle of life and death. Disclaimer on this one, it can be kind of dark, and there is one kind of jarring scene. If you've ever seen that movie, you know which scene I'm talking about. And if you don't like to think about death and things like that, it might not be for you. It might make you really sad and uncomfortable. I know one of my friends watched it and it made him feel very depressed. I thought it was beautiful, and most other people I've watched it with also think it is, but that one friend did not sit well with him at all. Okay, so those are my favorite movies to watch. Now, these are movies that I hope to watch one day while tripping. One is Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and I've seen this sober. It's kind of wacky, I think, and I am not sure if it would be totally good vibe throughout the whole movie when I trip on it, but I think it could still be fun. Next movie is the Lego Movie. I've watched it sober too, and it was hilarious, so I feel like on acid it would be very hilarious. Next is Alice in Wonderland and Moana. Pretty much any Disney movie really. Alice in Wonderland and Moana I haven't seen yet, but I have watched like Tarzan on acid. If there are any movies especially that are nostalgic to you, which Disney movies often do, those would be really cool to watch on acid. The nostalgia can get pretty feelsy. Next one that's recommended is Pink Floyd The Wall. I don't know much about this, but I imagine it has Pink Floyd's music in it, which sounds like a good time. Another movie I haven't seen sober or on drugs is Into the Spiderverse, the Spider-Man movie. I hear such amazing things about this that I definitely want to try it out when tripping. Another movie that's kind of trippy, they're in the similar vein, is Interstellar and Inception. I think that these might be a little disturbing, but not really enough that would deter me from tripping on them. Another movie I've heard a lot about is Waking Life, and I don't know much about it at all, but I hear that it can be very existential, and I love being existential. Other really recommended movies are Studio Ghibli movies, and these just seem like really heartwarming. I've never actually watched one, but it seems like it'd be comforting. I don't know. Then there's Blade Runner 2049. Now, I actually don't remember if I've seen this on acid or not. I've definitely watched it before, but I do remember it was very beautifully colored, and I love colors, especially on acid, so I feel like it would be a treat for my eyes to watch it. Then there's a movie called Paprika, which I have actually seen on acid, but I was tripping so hard I literally don't remember anything about it except me questioning myself whether it was reality or not. Like, the movie I thought was real and it's like animated and stuff. Yeah, but maybe I'll give it another try. Doctor Strange, I don't know much about this movie, but I hear it's really recommended. And also Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I've seen this so many times sober, and I think it would be really beautiful to watch on acid, especially if you're going through a breakup. I mean, maybe that's not the best idea. I don't know. I think it would be cathartic for me anyway. Now, there are movies that are highly recommended, but I personally wouldn't recommend them. Like, if we were gonna trip together, I'd be like, nah, let's not watch that. These movies are kind of in the horror vein and really stressful, so I'll just tell you them anyway if you're more brave than I am to watch these while tripping. One of these movies is Enter the Void. I've seen this movie sober, and when I watched it, it was like I was on drugs. So it's pretty depressing, and I can't imagine it while actually on drugs. There's Fantasia. This one is not horror, but I tried watching it on acid, and it was honestly kind of boring to me. So I would not recommend Fantasia. There's a movie, Annihilation. I've watched it sober. I love it. It also kind of feels like an acid trip when I watched it, but I can't imagine actually watching it on acid because it does have some horror elements to it that I think would just scare me too much. Then there's Midsommar, which is that weird cult movie. And this one I've seen sober, and I think it would just give me bad vibes when I'm on psychedelics, but some people really recommend it, so if you want to give it a try. They actually even do take psychedelics in that movie. They take shrooms, and it's pretty close representation, I'd say. And another really commonly suggested one is Requiem For a Dream, and I've seen this sober, and it seems really stressful and nerve-wracking, so I'm not sure I would recommend this, but if you're up to it, go for it. Now for TV shows. TV shows are usually pretty fun on acid. I've seen many different kinds. I've watched like Westworld, Game of Thrones, Death Note, Black Mirror on acid, and it's been pretty interesting, but these three I'm going to tell you are probably the most common ones that people would suggest. So first is Animal Planet. I freaking love Animal Planet and all its varieties, like Our Planet, Blue Planet, any kind of nature documentary that has stunning footage. If you're having a bad trip and it's going downhill, I would totally recommend to put this on. This is the kind of thing you can also put on when you're tripping hard because it's not super complex to follow or understand, and it's just really heartwarming as well, even though it does deal with things like death and rebirth and all that, but it's so beautiful to watch. Sometimes I'll just watch these and put it on mute and then turn my music on, and it'll be like a music video to my music. Or sometimes I will listen to the commentary, and it can be so funny as well. These animals totally act like us in ways, and just seeing that cycle of life in them that's the same in us, it's very connecting, I guess, to nature in that way. Another TV show that's often recommended is Rick and Morty, and I've seen this on acid too. It's kind of trippy in some ways, but I have to give a disclaimer with Rick and Morty too. I know someone who tripped and watched Rick and Morty, and they did not have a good time, and it kind of jarred them a bit, so I would kind of be careful with Rick and Morty. It can be pretty existential as well underneath all the crude humor. The next TV show that is commonly recommended is Midnight Gospel. I've tried watching this sober and I have to admit I don't actually like it that much. I find that the podcast talk is so disconnected from the animation that I just can't focus on both at the same time and I get distracted. You know, some people really like it and I might give it a try in the future too on psychedelics. I hear there are some good later episodes on it, but I don't know. I've tried watching the first few episodes and it just didn't really resonate with me, but you can give it a try and maybe you'll like it more than I do. As for music videos, I've done this in a variety of ways. I've music video hopped on YouTube and found really cool music videos that way that I discovered at the time, and I think YouTube knows with their algorithm, when you keep doing that and you start to prefer the more trippy videos, it starts to show you more trippy videos that other people probably watch, so you can go down a rabbit hole that way. But some of my favorite ones, I will actually create a playlist on YouTube and I'll link it in the description. Some of my favorite music videos, I chose them because they are visually pretty to look at. I think the music is good as well. I like introspective music as well, so the kind of music I tend to listen to might be a little more emotional. I'd say watch your favorite music videos and see how that goes, but for me, I like to watch like Tame Impala a lot. There's another really popular trippy music video called The Music Scene by Blockhead. That one's kind of a classic. Oh, another one that's really good is Crazy by Gnarls Barkley. That one's like insane. Pretty much you can do music videos kind of different ways. One way is to pre-filter them based on the music you like and create a playlist that you can save to watch later. Or another way is just to go on a music video that you do like and then kind of YouTube hop from there. But that one can be hit or miss as well. But in general, whatever music you like, to go for it. Okay, well, I hope this gave you some ideas of what to watch on your next trip or if you're tripping right now. As always, no matter what you choose to watch, I hope you stay safe, responsible, and you treat the drugs with respect. And I think that watching movies and shows and music videos is really a way of showing respect to the drugs. Depending, I guess, kind of what you watch. Just be careful because there are some dark things out there and they can probably turn your trip south. But in general, some nice lighthearted things are not a bad idea. Okay, till next time, bye!